Welcome back to the show, folks. This is the Shankly Sessions, the Liverpool podcast we bring you as part of the upper tier on YouTube. So if you could go out there, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, drop a like on the video and share the content. We'd really appreciate it. This is going to be a match reaction. We're going to take a look at Brighton versus Liverpool yesterday. Very frustrating on the pitch, very frustrating officiating, all that kind of stuff. We will get into it. But just to let you know tonight, folks, 2 shows coming up tonight at 7:30. We're going to be live with Johnny Lowry, the guy who he was the author of the book Match Fit that has released, looking at mental health within the game of football. So make sure you're with us to check that out as well. And if you fancy it, jump into the chat. If you want to ask Johnny any questions or anything like that, I'm sure he'll answer them. Great guy, really looking forward to the interview. I love doing these interviews on the channel as well. They're so interesting when we delve into these topics and stuff, and especially such a hot topic at the moment as mental health and stuff like that. Suicide rates are up, all this kind of thing. So mental health is huge at the moment, huge. And we knew that this wave of it was coming, especially with the pandemic and everything else, and how it affected people. And then at 9 o'clock I'm going to be live with Mark, our resident referee. We are going to be talking about officiating again, as we do every week. We'll take a rundown through the Premier League action at the weekend, some of the results, give our thoughts on how the table lies at the moment, and we'll discuss some hot topics as well with Mark, as we always do, including VAR, officiating and the PGMOL and all that kind of stuff. So 2 shows tonight, folks. Don't miss them. They're going to be really good and well worth a watch. So hit that bell notification. Make sure you're notified for when we go live on those shows. Right, let's get into this game. I really don't know what we have to do to get officiating to where it is. I'm at a loss for it at the moment. I just don't understand it. I can't figure it out. You see yesterday in the Arsenal game with the Kovacic decisions, nothing produced, just very strange. Can't understand, even if Arsenal ran out winners and stuff like that, why they aren't requesting the audio. I can't understand why my own club brought so much energy to this issue last week with the Spurs game. But then you look at the game this week, a blatant tug on Dominic Szoboszlai, pulls him down to the ground. Pascal Gross get the penalty, but the guy should have been sent off according to the letter of the law and the rules of the game. Should have seen a red card and should have been sent off. Didn't happen. So why aren't we out today requesting the audio with that? Another decision that potentially has cost us the 3 points. And if you look at both those games, and if you think about what's happened in them and stuff like that, if we had another 5 points on the board, we'd be at 22, I think it is, which would be huge. There's a big difference going into the international break, sitting on top of the league at 22 points and sitting 4th in the league on 17 points. And even 19 points obviously would have looked better if we had got the win yesterday. But there's a number of factors affecting this as well. That's kind of, I don't know about you guys and girls out there, but I would have expected a much bigger reaction to what went on at Spurs by the team yesterday. Now I know we had that kind of in-between game on the Europa League and stuff like that, which might have dampened things down, and I know the players said that they've moved on and stuff like that. But you should have been out there yesterday with a certain energy. I think we lacked real energy yesterday and stuff like that. Now, I looked at the starting lineup, and the starting lineup for me looked a little bit strange. I still have questions over Harvey Elliott in terms of his physicality and how he looks really busy, really not producing a whole lot. I know he left that ball for Mo for the goal, but I'm sure Mo made the call on that and called it for him to leave it. He didn't just do it. Unless I'm doing him a disservice there, and if I am, I'll put my hands up. But I'm still not sure. He has plenty of skill, stuff like that, but he just always seems to be very busy, really not producing a whole lot. And I'm not too sure if that's the answer. And I think with the options that Jurgen had yesterday at his disposal, I know Jota obviously being out with the red and other players being injured, obviously Curtis out as well, and shout out to Curtis Jones as well. When you think about how much we missed him yesterday, he's a big loss, and dare I say 6-8 weeks ago would we have even been saying that, but there you go, that's the way things can change in football, so definitely missed him yesterday. But I thought yesterday he would have taken the opportunity when we know how strong Brighton can be in the midfield. And I know the gaffer was talking as well about how good Brighton all are, and I think a lot of that is kind of palaver as well at times, because if you look at that Brighton side, they struggled heavily against Marseille during the week, barely scraped a draw, having to come back from 2-0 down. Last weekend they got thumped by Aston Villa 6-1, so they're not actually that good. Now, it's a good footballing club, De Zerbi's a very good manager, but they're going through a transition as well. Like, if you look at it yesterday, they had Pascal Gross at left back, you know, the young lad, the Ivory Coast lad, Dingra I think is his name, he was marshalling the midfield, no Estepina. Evan Ferguson only coming back off a number of injuries and stuff like that, wasn't really in the game. I thought Matoma yesterday was being marshalled well by Trent. I thought the only thing about it was Trent was having to drop deep to drop off him to deal with him, but I thought he dealt with him pretty well. We've seen what happened when Trent went off, and I don't know why Trent was hooked. Maybe only coming back off the injury and all tiredness. He played during the week as well. The Thursday game was quite a slog for some of the boys. In theory it probably should have been a lot easier, but Union gave us a real good game, so going in it wasn't ideal. But as soon as Trent was hooked, and I thought the timing of it as well, because he had given away the free kick led to a goal, and we have to talk about that as well, because Trent didn't even touch the player. The ref was kind of sold one there, and that led to the equaliser. And you know, then we have to argue about how the defence played and stuff like that, and you know, why wasn't someone picking up Lewis Dunk? I mean, we know that he's the danger guy there. I mean, when you look at Brighton, and we spoke about it in the preview, what did I say in the preview again? I said anywhere in around our box or in around that areas of that, if we give up free kicks or set pieces or corners or whatever it is, Lewis Dunk is always the danger man in those situations. And really that should have been an opportunity. Virgil van Dijk should have been marking Lewis Dunk at every opportunity when that situation was there. You shouldn't be handing him off to anyone. Virgil van Dijk is the captain, he's the leader, he should be taking control of that. So I don't know what conversations were had with Klopp before the game, but if I'm Jurgen Klopp, I'm telling Virgil van Dijk, Dunk is your guy. Do not lose him no matter what. And we know that Dunk is in a rich vein of form. We know he's capable of scoring goals, gets them from these kind of situations. We should have been more switched on. I don't know how the ball in the end got right through to him and stuff like that. It was very weird. I'm wondering whether Robbo got a call, but he's obviously not going to say anything. But it looked from Robbo, and how surprised he was that he had gotten a call. But I thought he should have dealt with it really, because it looked like he was outside the footprint of the goal. So the chances are he probably could have cleared it and it wouldn't have led to an OG basically. So kind of weird from that point of view. But I don't know, that first goal that we coughed up again, here we are going 1-0 down to have to react. Kind of lackluster going onto the pitch. A lot of people just being busy not doing much, but definitely the midfield was very imbalanced, and that's where they were getting most of their joy, and we should have adjusted. As I said before, I've been very complimentary of Klopp over the last number of weeks about how he's adjusted in-game stuff and all, and having to make changes and stuff like that. But yesterday we were caught with our pants down really, you know what I mean? I think Harvey went in there and kind of imbalanced things. I would have much preferred to go with Endo in the 6, play a proper 6 in the 6, because they were looking to create those spaces and attack us within those spaces. Endo could have been the guy to shut that down. I think McAllister would have been much more efficient going forward as an attacking mid, along with Dominic on the other side. I think it would have given us a bit more. I thought we were very narrow on our play. I thought we could have went much wider and we could have stretched the play a bit. We didn't see Trent switching balls the way he did from wing to wing and stuff like that to stretch the play that bit more. Robbo was pretty anonymous in the game, if you like. Van Dijk for that pass, Alexis McAllister was poor. Alexis wasn't switched on. The pass was absolutely diabolical. I don't know what Alisson was doing in no man's land. I don't know why he feels the need that he has to do that. I understand you want to create angles and stuff like that and all, but at that point, when the ball is fed off to Van Dijk, you have to drop back into your goal, don't you? So it was kind of, that goal was just a kind of a shit show. It was poor all round. You know, Van Dijk, McAllister, Alisson. You know, the ball was there to be fed off to Robbo, but it wasn't fed off to Robbo. He was sitting in space like what we would normally do. Shooting balls yesterday as well into tight spaces, trying to create passes into players that were being heavily marked by 1, 2, 3 Brighton players at times, you know. And I just thought that was really, really poor from us yesterday as well. And when we coach those kind of things and we look at those kind of things, we always say to players, if the pass isn't on, don't make the pass, switch back again. and stuff like that. And at times like that, we sometimes complain because we go, oh, we're just going side to side or back and all that kind of thing. But you're maintaining the ball, you're maintaining the control of the game. You're not coughing up the ball so easy. I don't know how many times we played balls into players yesterday that were surrounded by Brighton players and trying to tread balls through the eye of a needle when there was a much better situation available to us. So our choice yesterday during the game and our use of the ball, I think, was very, very poor as well. Again, you heard the gaffer saying that like Brighton, they're a good side and stuff like that, but they were there for the taking. I mean, between the VAR decision not being made on the penalty for the lad to get sent off, you know, coughing up that free kick when it wasn't even a free kick, you know, and you look at the 2 goals that we coughed up, 2 really poor goals from us, you know. But that kind of imbalance in the midfield that we're speaking about is kind of leading to the problems that we're having in defence, because our defence has been a little bit exposed and not protected as it should be as a 6. So you've got McAllister kind of playing the 6, kind of playing the 8, but not too sure, somewhere in between. And I looked at a number of players yesterday positionally, and they were quite confused as to what they should be doing. Even Dominic Szoboszlai, if you look at him yesterday, he didn't really have a great game. You know what I mean? He wasn't in the game the way we've seen him in the game, where he's getting involved in the game, he's controlling the game, we're dictating how the game goes. At times we left the ball with Brighton and we let them dictate the game, you know. And then when we tried to play out from the back to create those spaces and invite them on, we were so poor at moving the ball and the speed at which we moved it. We didn't really, at times when we got the ball out onto the flanks to Salah and all, that's where the danger was coming from. Luis Diaz as well, there's question marks over at the moment as well. I think the ball being fed out to him, I think sometimes he likes to check inside and it makes us look very, very narrow. He doesn't seem to want to go the outside. I don't know whether it's a pace thing or what it is, but every time he seems to go on the outside, you know, there's no real synergy between himself and Robbo. And the way we used to see that synergy with him and Mane, and they'd be flying by each other, switching the balls, running overlaps, getting balls into the box and stuff like that. If you're not swinging those balls into the box and creating chances, then the likes of Darwin Núñez is having to work very hard to get himself into the game. He's having to drop back and do that kind of work that like Kane did last year for Spurs, dropping deep to get involved in the game. You know, small little bits of play from Darwin as well in the game, got the assist of course, but also had a big influence on the goal as well and all that kind of thing. But we need more from him. We need more. You know, it can't be always just Captain Chaos and a little bit of involvement. We need him to find goals, but again, we have to support him and give him what he needs in order to do that. And we were poor yesterday from that point of view. Just never felt like we were really in the game. I think we got very comfortable at the 2-1 scoreline. I think we could have done a lot more. We were unlucky. The Gravenberch chance, I think another day he puts 9 times out of 10 he probably puts that in the back of the net. Unfortunately he didn't yesterday. I think a 3-1 the game would have been done. Certainly if we had got them down to 10 men, it definitely would have been done. But just so frustrating in so many areas, you know. Defensively, you bring on Konate. He hasn't looked anything like the Konate that he has been. He seems to be playing with a kind of a nervousness, a disjointment. Joe Gomez yesterday kind of all over the place. As soon as he came on and Konate came on, Matoma got the license to do what we know he can do, and that's why we were under so much pressure down that left side, or that left side for them during the game. So it was just a frustrating kind of game. 2-1, very dangerous scoreline. You know, I probably would have made changes. I would have, you know, Gravenberch obviously came on. It's probably a call for Endo to come on. You know, if you're getting overrun in the midfield, maybe pack another player in there. If you look up front, Darwin wasn't really having the joy that we wanted. If you look at the player ratings, most of them are quite low with the exception of Mo. So just overall, it wasn't a great day at the office. When you were expecting a reaction, you wanted to go back out there, make a point after the Spurs game and get back to winning ways, get the 3 points on the board, get the feel-good factor going into the international break. A lot of these boys jetting off now to play for their countries and stuff like that. Another international break, you know. So, yeah, just really, really frustrating. Although we've had a reasonable start to the season, I think it could have been so much more. When you look back on it, it's a lot of opportunities missed. Yeah, just frustrating, you know. Just need a bit of tightening up and a bit of fixing up, really, and looking at what we're doing and stuff like that. But I keep on saying it, and I say it in the previews as well. Play the players in their positions. Remember that season when we didn't have the defenders and we were putting midfielders in defence and all, and then in came Nat Phillips and Reece Williams and stuff like that. Play players in their positions. And I don't think I'm concerned about this Alexis McAllister situation where we're constantly just trying to create this kind of a hybrid kind of 6 situation and stuff like that. I think it's leaving us a little bit exposed. I think Van Dijk at the moment is a massive kick up the arse and a wake up call. I wouldn't be against sitting him down for a game or two. I think the boy Kwanzaa has come in and he looked very assured. I wouldn't mind, you know, we have a couple of decent games coming up now. We've a nice run of games after the international break, but we need to be putting the points on the board. And these are kind of the matches that when you look back at title races, or you look back at where you finish, if you're outside the top 4 or whatever it is, these are the matches that you look back on. You know, we had a real opportunity yesterday with the injuries that they had and the makeshift of what they're doing and stuff like that to go and put 3 points on the board, lay down a marker going into the international break. You look at the danger man for them. Joe Pedro was there. We know how dangerous he's been. He's been a shining light for them in a kind of a stop-start kind of run, if you like. And we spoke about on the preview that he would be the danger. He was just given a license to roam. And again, we lacked the leadership on the pitch to turn around and assign a player to him to pick him up. And if you let guys of that kind of quality and that kind of skill level, if you allow them the opportunity to roam and take control of the pitch, they're going to hurt you. They're going to hurt you, and that's just the way it is. And it was just tactically, I think yesterday we were just off it. I don't know, maybe it was a hangover from the Spurs game. People were just feeling a little bit off. Trent said they had put it behind them. I thought we would have been rared up to actually go on that pitch and go ballistic and get stuck in. Again, if you talk about the officiating, keep on going back to it and stuff like that, you know, because of all the turmoil that came out of the Spurs situation and that debacle, you know, you're looking at 50-50 situations yesterday as well, where you're just not going to get decisions going your way. And I also said that in the preview as well, that I thought if there's a 50-50 decision to be made, it's potentially going to go Brighton's way. And if you look at that game yesterday, you look at a lot of the 50-50s, a lot of our players got frustrated at it yesterday. A lot of the 50-50 stuff that was going on was going Brighton's way. And it's not surprising. It's not like we don't know about this. It's not like this is news. But I just think it's really, really, you know, we've kind of backed ourselves into a corner a little bit when it comes to officiating. Now, we know every official should walk onto the pitch and it should be down the middle and stuff like that, but we know from a human point of view it just doesn't go that way, and because we've created such a hullabaloo. But I'm very surprised today we didn't bring the energy on that penalty and request the audio and ask the question, why didn't the red card be issued? Because for me, that's as blatant and it's as crazy and it's as mad as the Spurs game, because ultimately both cost us 3 points, you know. So I don't know why a week later we've backed off the energy that we brought last week. I don't know why aren't we continuing it? And that's the same not just for Liverpool, I'm saying that for every team. Any team at the moment that's potentially affected by a decision that could potentially change the outcome of a game should be going in hard on the PGMOL and asking them why, and asking them, you know, requesting the audio and finding out what's going on. I mean, we seen the blow up at the weekend there with Paul Merson and Mike Dean and stuff like that, and you could see the attitude and the aloofness of Mike Dean and all. Didn't want to be explaining themselves to anyone, looking at Merson like he was below him, beneath him and all that kind of thing. This is how these officials carry on. This is what we're dealing with all the time, you know what I mean? And I think it's really, really important that we tackle these things head on. And that's not me as a bitter Liverpool fan not getting the 3 points yesterday. I think that's in general for every team at the moment operating in the Premier League. At every moment's notice, if there's Arsenal today, regardless of the win, should be requesting the audio for the 2 Kovacic tackles and asking why wasn't he issued with a red card. And they should be made come back with the audio of what was discussed, how it was discussed, and what was said. Because these are huge things. What happens if Man City yesterday went on and had a 1-1 nil? I'm telling you now, for every team that's in the league, keep the same energy. Just because you get the result or the result goes your way should not change your energy in relation to the officiating. Because what will happen is it will go against you, it will cost you your place in the league, it could cost you a title, could cost you coming out of a title race or whatever it is. And I think we need to find the same energy on these things. Otherwise, what was all last week about? Why did we bother? Why didn't we just suck it and say and move on? You know? There hasn't been an apology issued as far as I know in recording this yet for the weekend. The red card at Liverpool, that should have happened. You know, the Kovacic sending off, which should have happened. No apologies, no reasoning why. You know, and as we push on through this, the more we highlight stuff, the worse it actually gets. The officiating is actually getting worse week in, week out. And it's going to get to a stage where it's going to be a waste of time playing the fixtures, because the officiating is just going to ruin game after game after game. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Let us know what we need to do. Defence needs tightening up. Is it being a bit exposed by the imbalance in midfield? You know, let us know your thoughts on the decisions deciding the game. Let us know your thoughts on the starting 11. Let us know your thoughts on Luis Diaz, Harvey Elliott, you know, Robbo. These players at the moment not really playing at the level where we want them to be playing at. International break now, so won't be too many Shankly Sessions shows until we get back. Next one will probably be a preview for the Merseyside derby. So yeah, if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, drop a like on the video, share the content. We'll be back live at 7:30 and we'll also be live at 9 o'clock with the Monday mashup. Until then, folks, enjoy the rest of your evening.